Hello, 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 everyone. It's the morning after the night before, and what a night it was. And the question I'm asking is what really happened last night? What really happened with the relay? As you know, Jamaica lost the relay finals 4-1 against the United States. And we're going to try to analyze and see what exactly happened. It's not about the blame game, but I think that there's nothing wrong with questioning the decisions that are made and performance by certain athletes. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at what really went down in that 4-1 finals and what exactly cost us the title last night. I don't think that anyone could be could have imagined that Jamaica with the three fastest women in the world um, could have lost the 4-1. Um, Clearly, we were the favorites and favorites by far. But I think that the whole setup of the relay was wrong. The attitude, the approach, everything just seemed so wrong. Maybe it was overconfidence, I don't know. But even at that stage, you can't be too confident. Even at that level, you cannot afford to be too confident. And I think maybe that's exactly what happened to the relay team. So let me just greet everyone who is coming in to the chat. Greetings, greetings, greetings to you. And we're really going to delve into what happened last night in this really final. I mean, a lot of people are cussing Kemba Nelson, saying it's Kemba Nelson's fault and that the start wasn't good and blah, blah, blah. I think that we could have run and won that relay with Kemba Nelson easily and even break the world record with Kemba Nelson. I don't think that it was entirely Kemba Nelson's fault why Jamaica lost that relay finals. Certainly not. I think the lineup of the team was wrong because certain questions you have to ask yourself in the relay. You have to ask who's your best starter. From where we got primary school, we know this. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to basic school, we know say, all right, if you have a relay, the most important thing is to know who is your fastest runner. And your fastest runner is usually the person you put on the anchor leg. This is like the ABC of track and field and the ABC of relay running. Your fastest runner supposed to run the anchor. Here we have a situation where there are three women who are laying the claim to the title of fastest woman in the world. We have Sherika Jackson, we have Shelley Fraser Price, we have Elaine Thompson. So it's a case where we have three women claiming to be the fastest. We could say we have the three fastest women in the world at the moment. And Kevin Nelson ran sub 11 this season, so there's nothing to suggest that Kemba is slow. So uh, if you've got a relay team with the gold, silver, and bronze in the 100, then to me, the only thing you need to do to win that gold is to carry the stick around and make sure it doesn't fall. That's the most important thing you have to do. Make sure that the stick does not fall during that relay. Now, problem is, how, and I'm laying this one at the feet of the coaches or the team selectors. When you're in that position, you are paid, and I assume it's not voluntary work. So you're paid to make big decisions. You're paid to call the shots. You're paid to call um, the things that are to make the decisions that might not be popular. For example, you have the top four from the national trials. Usually, those are the four you go into the relay with. A team selector should have been able to look at the team, look at the performance of the Heats, for example, and say, okay, Brianna Williams has been the starter for a number of years. She has always done well in the start. She's clearly the best starter we've got in Jamaica. A strong team selector would have said, okay, we're going to choose Brianna for the start. So that's the first thing that the selector should have done. The second thing the selectors should have done is to choose the order of the team. All right? You're choosing the order of the team, and you're going to choose it to the strengths of the individual. A relay team needs a number of components. One, your starter. The start is probably the most important leg. All right, because and the start, the first leg has the most important job because number one, you have a job of making sure that your team doesn't lose on the stagger. You have a job of making sure that you do not fall start. You have a job of making sure that your start is good enough to put your team in a good position. So the starter is the starting leg. The first leg is crucial. And the first mistake they did was to put Kevin Nelson on the first leg because she doesn't have the experience of running first leg for Jamaica at such an important championship. Secondly, she doesn't have credentials of being a fast starter. You know, yes, she has credentials of running fast or finishing a race fast, but she doesn't really have credentials of being a fast starter. And you want your best starter to start the race. So the only candidate, if you're retaining Kevin Nelson on the relay team, the only candidate to start the relay would be a Shelly and Fraser Price. That's it. Sherika is not a great starter. Elaine Thompson is not a great starter. So the starting would be Shelly and Fraser Price. No debate there. Your second leg is also important because the second leg of the 4x1 is the person who is running the longest of the legs based on how the zones are marked out. Your second leg is the person who runs the longest. I think there's an estimated that the second leg is about 120 meters. So the person you put on your first leg has to be your best starter. The person you put on your second leg has to be your best 200-meter runner. Because that second leg is the leg that is longer than the other legs. So you need your best 200-meter runner at the time. All right, if you're going to say, okay, who are the best 200-meter runners? All right, Sherika Jackson clearly because she has the 200 title. Shelly Ann Fraser got silver in the 200 title, so that makes her a candidate for the second leg. And Elaine Thompson, based on history, but it's clear that Elaine hasn't been having a great championship, and she came seventh, seventh in the 200, and that is also after having run three legs of the 100 and three legs of the 200. So you have to put your strongest 200-meter runner on the second leg. which because we've put Elaine, because we've put Shelly and Fraser, our best starter, on the first leg, we have to put Sherika Jackson on the second leg. It's as simple as that. The third leg, okay, you need somebody who is going to run the curve, but the third leg is the shortest leg. The shortest leg, if you're a selector, the ABC of track and field should tell you that. Greetings to you walking with Thompson. Greetings and welcome. The selector should know that the third leg is the shortest leg, and that's the leg you're going to put your most inexperienced athlete. Yes? Or your fourth fastest, the slowest athlete of the four, that's where you're going to put them. Clearly, because it's a shorter distance, and it's where you are inclined to make the least mistakes than to hurt the team. So your first leg has your best starter, your second leg has to have your best 200-meter runner, your third leg has to have the least experienced runner, and the fourth leg, well, whoever is left, which in this case, to me, means that the best team selection should have been Shelly to Sherika to Kemba to Elaine Thompson. Okay? Shelly and clearly you're going to have a great start. Why would you waste Shelly and Fraser on the curve? That doesn't make any sense. Shelly is not, she doesn't run a lot of 200 meters. Okay, in the interview, Sherika come and say, yeah, Shelly run a good curve, whatever. But Shellyan is not a 200-meter specialist. Shellyan is not a 400-meter specialist. So she's not a specialist of the curve. That is like basic stuff. So putting Shellyan on the curve is nonsense. The reason they put her on the curve last year was because, okay, Brianna Williams was there, and it's clear that Brianna Williams has the best start. Elaine Thompson last year was the best 200-meter runner, so it's normal and logical that she would have run the second leg. And then Shelly was on the third leg, and Sherika on the fourth leg. That was how they went last year. And to be honest, last year I would have switched Shelly and Sherika. I would have put Sherika on the third leg and Shelly on the anchor last year. And I think that would have been enough to give us the world record at the time. This year, you had to have had Shelly on the start because Brianna was not there. So the only other somebody in the race who can start is Shelly. Okay? Elaine Thompson is not having the best championship, so you can't put the woman on the second leg. You have to put her either on the third leg or the fourth leg. So you're going to put, on the second leg, you're going to put Sherika Jackson, your best 200-meter athlete. So when you get a solid start with Elaine, and then Sherika is going to give us a nice solid backstretch, then you're going to put Kemba Nelson because she's not an experience, yes, and you want to give her as the shortest leg. So you're going to put Kemba Nelson on the third leg. And then let Elaine anchor the thing. But I guess the whole politics about it is that, okay, because Sherika did so well in the 200, you want Sherika to be the anchor. Or you don't want to give the glory to, because at the end of the day, the person who anchors the relay gets a bit of glory. Because of them get to come across the line and punch them hand in the ear and the cameras on them. So I suppose, there's that aspect of it. But I don't see how the team selectors and the Jamaican team selectors have been making these mistakes for quite a while now. Enough time from even Veronica Campbell days, they might make this mistake. Usually at the fastest run and go on the last leg. That's what you usually do. Your fastest athlete on your anchor leg. Your fastest 200-meter runner, finish on the second leg. Your fastest starter, finish on the first leg. And your least experienced runner, you give them the curve. So I think the team selection and the team selectors got that one totally wrong. Totally wrong. Um, so I am not going to blame Kevin Nelson. Yes, because at the end of the day, I know she chose herself to go on that. And I'm not going to be like some people saying, oh, we can't win every time. Of course, we can win every time. We can win every time. I'm not one who ever said we have to understand we can. No, we can win every time. We won't win every time, but it's possible to win every time. But we lost a gold medal because of a silly team selection, in my opinion. We lost a gold medal because, you know, we had a situation in which um, the selectors messed up big time by choose messing up the order of the race. Then. If you are having a problem with Kemba Nelson, then you are paid by the Jamaican Athletic Federation, and you probably get paid more than the money what I am earning in my for my profession. So if you are paid to choose the team, then you should have the you know to make the tough decision. And one of the decisions that would have been the tough decision is should Brianna Williams or Kemba Nelson be on that relay team? If you were having a problem with start and Shelly, you don't want to put Shelly on the start, then for me it's simple. You have to bring in a Brianna Williams. If you wanted to say, well, Kemba earned her spot, she came third in the national, or second, she come in the national trials. She earned her spot, fair to take out Kemba out of the relay team and put somebody who came fourth. It's not fair, whatever. Fine, I can understand that argument as well. But in that case, you're going to put the woman where her inexperience is going to least affect the team, which would have been on the third leg. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know. But that is how I see it. And because of that, and I don't even remember which leg Abby Steiner ran, but I guarantee you she probably ran the second leg. I need to check the lineup of the US team because I know I'm not see the race good enough. All I'm not see the race good because all I'm looking at is the Jamaican team and you know, they messed up. And I'm trying to say, you know, I mean, even that lineup should have easily won, but we it's like we give ourselves bucket what how they call it basket to carry water by choosing the team selection that we did. That's what we did. The hurdles semifinals are on tonight. Danielle Williams is in the first heat. She's going to be in lane three in the first heat. Then in the second heat, we have got Megan Tapper, bronze medalist from last year's Olympics. And then in heat three, we've got Brittany Anderson, who will be running in from lane three. So that's coming up later. And then of course there is the 4x4 where it's going to be a ding dong battle between the United States and Jamaica in the women's 4x4. And then the men's 4x4 is Jamaica's last chance, really, to get a medal from the men. We have no medal so far from the men's team, and there's only one race to go that you know could give us that possibility of getting a medal, and that is the men's 4x4. And our quarterfinals are not really in the best shape of their life, so we're gonna have to wait and see how that one pans out. Also coming up, there's the finals of the 800. The 800 finals are coming up tonight as well, and that's going to be interesting because we've got Natalia Gould and Natalia is in lane two, but the 800, the lane draw doesn't really matter. And she's going to be going up against Atin Mo, the American Atin Mo, the Olympic champion. So hopefully Natalia can medal. She really deserves it. She's one of those athletes who, you know, has been hitting and working very hard, and we're hoping that she will get some reward a little later on tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. The 800 for women and the 4 by 4 for both men and women. And then there's the 100-meter hurdles, semifinals, and then finals coming up tonight. So it's the last day of action, but we still have some action on the pitch, and we're really hoping that Jamaica can at least get some more medals in the different races. So, so yeah, back to the relay now. A lot of people, who are the people that cause poor Kenman Nelson? And even Kenman Nelson probably felt a bit, like she messed up. But if you look at the staggers, I don't see any, apart from maybe Sharika Jackson, I don't see where any of the other Jamaicans made up any great stagger. I mean, Elaine Thompson had a very ordinary leg. Her leg was quite ordinary. Shelly and okay, she blazed around the corner, but I think Prandini did much better than Fraser Price on the curve. You know, Prandini seemed as if she did a lot better. I don't know what the splits are saying, but Prandini really ran an excellent curve. And Ricky Life in the house, big up yourself, Ricky. Go on, bro. Yeah, Pramini run down Shelly and Fraser Price on the curve. Elaine Thompson didn't eat into any stagger or didn't make up any. Elaine Thompson was ordinary in that relay. Kevin Nelson, I thought that the leg was decent. The changeover was a mess. But I didn't see, I didn't see which part people are say she caused the relay. You understand? Was looking back at it, the stagger seemed okay when Kemba, finished her leg. Ricky Life 365 is chilling. When they have the son, Ricky just looking back at how we could have the three fastest women in the world and still manage to lose the 4x1 race to our bitter rivals, the United States. I am suggesting that, the team selectors, and these things are not even clear to the watching, viewing public, who are the selectors, who are the coaches, which coach did it, who makes what decision, who makes what call, to what extent it's the athletes who decide which leg them want to run, or is it the athletes' personal coaches, or because I remember when Veronica Campbell, there was an issue once with Veronica Campbell not wanting to run the curve because she said she had an injury, might have been an Achilles injury or something, and there was a big fallout between, I think it might have been Veronica and Shelley and Fraser Price at the time, because they didn't, they were arguing about who should run the curve. But VCP is a professional. She would run and do whatever you ask her to do. Ricky, like if you say it's like they didn't push enough. Yeah, I thought Elaine's running was pretty much like that. It didn't seem like she was pushing herself. Probably she doesn't want to aggravate any form of injury that she might be suffering from. India is here. India, greetings. St. Japhet, bro. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, India. Stay motivated, Murray. Hope you're doing well. Thumbs up done. So thank you very much. And guys, just remember to hit the thumbs up as you come into the live. And, let's reason and see and talk about what really happened in that relay. I know the US also were left stunned because they also swept the men's race and they ended up losing the 4x1 as well. So I think that the Americans were also quite disappointed. And saying hello to Ricky, and then Jolisa is here. Greetings, Jolisa. How are you? Jolisa getting ready, warming up for the Commonwealth Games. It's getting ready to start. Maybe in another 2 weeks, the Commonwealth Games. I think Elaine is planning to go. I'm not sure if the big stars will be coming over to Birmingham for the Commonwealth Games, but I'm looking forward to it. Blessings and the assist from Ricky. Yeah, so I was saying earlier that when you're making a relay team, from whether you're prep school or basic school, we know that the last leg you have to put your fastest runner. All right. So in this context, the fastest runner at the moment would have been Shelley and Fraser Price. All right. But if you are putting Kemba Nelson, Shelley with Sharika and Elaine, you have to put on the first leg your best starter. So Shellyan now is a dilemma because Shellyan is the best starter and she is the fastest at the moment. That means to say Shelly should either be on the first leg or the last leg. Shelly not have no reason being on the third leg at all. At all. If you're thinking about how related teams are set up. Shelly not supposed to be on the third leg. Ricky said, Jolisa, where is the live? Jolisa is saying, remember, all teams are training and hope to do well too, not just Jamaicans. That's Jolisa's take on it. So Jolisa, so like one of those who would say we can't win all the time. And I'll say we can win all the time, even though we won't win all the time. But Jamaicans sort of we're the worst in terms of if somebody lose and you expecting them to win, like we start cuss the people them and cuss out everybody. But I'm gonna spare my athletes the blushes because as I said, it's not them, it's the selectors who got it wrong. Jolisa said no live today, we be chilling. All right. It's the selectors who got it wrong. So now, okay, you have a choice. You're saying, okay, Shellyan is the fastest starter and Shellyan is the fastest runner. So Shelly should either be on the first leg or the last leg, right? Which one are you going to choose? Um, if you're going to choose the anchor runner, you're going to say, okay, Shelly can anchor it, but we have two other people who could anchor it just as well in Elaine Thompson and Sherika Jackson. So I wouldn't worry too much about who will put on the anchor of those three. So that means that you will have to make the choice and the call and say, all right, the anchor is not so crucial because we have three people who could do it. Let's put Shellyan on the start because you're keeping Kimber Nelson. Kimber finished second at the trials in Jamaica. It would not be fair for them to kick her out. It happened to Peter Gay Dowdy. Peter Gay Dowdy was the national champion. And Merlin Otti, I think Otti did not go to the trials that year. Or she was injured or something. But then Otti was running some fast times. So they had to choose now which runners were going to run the 100 meters. So I think the selectors at the time, because of how well Merlin Otti was running, they chose Otti and they sidetracked Peter Gay Dowdy. And I think that sort of ruined Peter Gay Dowdy's career. She never recovered from that. The fact that she was the national champion, sorry, sorry, she had won the title, and yet she was just discarded aside to accommodate Marilyn Hudson. Like no one there, I'm making myself COVID. So Peter Gaydor, they never recovered from that. And to be honest, guys, it's not fair that all the athletes train. They go to the national trials. You have to respect the results of the national trial. Cameron Nelson comes second. It means that she make the team. You have to work with that. It's for you now to decide how you're going to use the team. You know, I mean, if you think about it, something like salt, something like salt is very useful. But yeah, if you don't know how to use salt, it's going to be disgusting. If you salt the food too much, or so you have to know how to use the tools that you have, and the selectors have to know how to use the athletes that are at their disposal. So me say and me disagree. Ricky saying Jonathan is done fishing. Enjoy your day. Uh, Ian plus Nature TV is here saying the thumbs up has been done. Thank you and welcome, Ian. Where are you from? Tell us where you are watching from. Uh, so yeah, the selectors are the ones who have to make the shot. And as I said, it wouldn't have been fair to get rid of Kemba Nelson because she comes second in the trial. So I disagree with all those people who are cussing out Kemba Nelson saying that she shouldn't have been on the team and she messed it up or what. The woman comes second at the trial. You have to respect that. So now that she came second, now that you have to work with her, where on the team are you going to put her? Are you going to put her on the start, which is the most experienced leg? The most important leg is the start. Shelly and Africa start, whether she likes it or not, as she's supposed to start. She's the best starter in that field because Brianna Williams is out. So Shelly has to start, right? Fraser Price should have started that relay. Then you're going to say, okay, what am I going to put on the second leg? Do I put Elaine Thompson or do I put Sherika Jackson? Because we still can't put what's she name? Kevin Nelson on the second leg because the second leg is the longest leg. So you need your best 200-meter runner on the second leg. So now you're going to choose, do I go for Elaine or do I go for Sherika? Based on the time, the woman just dropped a 21.45. She has to run the backstretch. Sherika should have gone on the backstretch. You understand? Because imagine now, Shelly Ann started. More than likely, Shelly is going to give us a brilliant start. Then Sherika down the backstretch. More than likely, she's going to eat up that backstretch, which, as I said, the backstretch is the longest of these four legs. Then you're going to get Kevin Nelson the baton around the curve. The curve is short. The curve doesn't require that much experience. You just grab the baton and you run. Okay? So you're not going to waste Shelly and Fraser's speed in the curve. You don't need it, so if Shelly give you a good start and Sherry can even extend the stagger, you can manage to have a weak curve runner if you're going to give the baton to an Elaine Thompson. Because guess what? The only other person who can run past Elaine if Elaine get the baton is going to be what? Shelly and maybe Sherika. So at the end of the day, your only job would be to get the baton to Elaine first. And you know the race will be over. Putting Kemba on the first leg, you're already putting us at a disadvantage because the woman got too nervous. She don't want a false start. It's her first world championship. She young, she inexperienced. All those things are going through her head. She gonna think, oh my God, I wonder if I'm gonna mess up the start. Brianna Williams, I wonder if people are gonna say we should have choose Brianna. So all these things are gonna be going through Kimber Nelson's head. Ian Plus Nature TV is in Clarendon. Welcome to all the Clarendonians. Big up with yourself. So Kimber Nelson clearly is going to have all those questions in her head, and she'll go be nervous, and she's not going to explode out of the blocks as much as, say, somebody who is more experienced or who is more gifted with that type of stuff. So you waste Shelly on the curve, you put Elaine on the back stretch when she's not 100%. You gave Sherika too much work to do. I don't know if I overconfidence or what, but it was just too much work. Ian says, salute to our female athletes, they make us proud, indeed. And the name of the start by the man, we're not going to start on the men. I mean, they tried their best. They came fourth in that relay. I mean, the Americans lost, and that's the important thing because can you imagine if the US did sweep the men's 100, 200, 400, and then the relay? Oh my God, we wouldn't hear the end of it. So Canada, they were smart because they put their fastest athlete on their last leg. So the other athletes, their only job is to just get the baton to him close to the lead. And that's exactly what Canada did. They got the stick around clean and they gave it to the Goss. Once you have your Goss experience, fast, there's no passing him that anybody's going to be able to pass him. You understand? So our strategy was weak there. Uh, we gave Sherika too much. And all right, why are you going to put Sherika on the back stretch? Because her speed is something that builds up gradually. You know. Sherika not just explode out of the. Even if you look at the 100, okay, she got a decent start, but she's not going to explode immediately. Her speed, and if you watch that 100-meter race, you're going to see exactly what type of speed and how Sherika's speed start. She got the button behind, and you just see her start build up, getting faster and faster and faster, and going through to the finish line. Look, we only ran out of track because that if the race was further or longer, she would have passed. But her speed takes some time to build up. That's why you need somebody else who on the anchor, like if you have put a Shedian on the anchor, you know immediately Shedian move from gear one to gear five. But Sherika took a bit of while to build up, although she did an excellent leg. I think they timed her leg at 9 point something, so that was stratospheric. But I'm not blaming Kemba at all. I'm just blaming the order in which these athletes were put and organized. I'm not sure that they had time to train. I don't think they had time to train. But in a relay, you don't need a whole heap of training. Anybody who tells you they need all that of training, they don't need. These people have been running relays from champ. They've been running relays from boys and girls champs days. So they don't, it's not a case where they need a lot of practice. They just need to know the order. I think maybe they didn't want to disrupt the order from last year, which is why they did it. But when you select a relay team, you have to be perform, you know, and use common sense. So guys, remember to give us a thumbs up. This is just our rant about, you know, how we felt watching the relay. As you can hear, even my voice gone because they are watching. You know, when you watch with people, like it affects you a lot more than when you watch it alone. Like I was watching with a lot of Jamaicans this morning, and by the end of the race, my voice was gone. In terms of the prospects of the 4x4, it's going to be very difficult for the men to medal. It's going to be very difficult based on what I'm seeing. I'm hoping that the men can at least get a medal because we're not gonna hear the end of it that all the medals won were by the women and the women's team. Uh, a few years ago, the men's team was on top. We had a clean sweep in London with Johan Blake and Usain Bolt and Warren Weir. And, now haven't got a, we haven't got a medal for the men. Oblique Civil, two fourth place. That's not bad, you know, coming fourth in the 100. Um, that's how we were talking about Ian, some chicken foot soup on a Sunday. Yeah, that we are talking about now. That is exactly what I would like to drink right about now, you know. So let me tell you what's coming up tonight. We're not going to stay too long, but I'll tell you what's on the schedule tonight. It's going to start with the semifinals of the 100-meter hurdle. And there are three Jamaicans in the semifinals for the 100 hurdles. There is Daniel Williams. Daniel is in lane three. Her season's best is 12.59, and she has a personal best of 12.32. So Daniel can go fast. She is incidentally in the same semifinal as the great Kendra Harrison. And Kendra Harrison has gone 12.20 in her career. Her personal best this season is 12.34. So those two are like way ahead of the field. So we expect Danielle to negotiate yet another world finals. And she has won the title before. So that's heat one. In heat two, it's the people's champion, uh, Megan Tapper. She's in heat two, and Megan, as you know, is just loved by everybody. She has a very pleasant personality. Um, I remember, I remember last year at the Diamond League in Paris, Megan Tapper was there, and we had a crowd, and we had cheer, we had cheer like mad for some of the athletes them, and some of them just walk past like they're not here. Like you don't know if when you're there on the field, you can't hear what's happening up in the stands. But we were like shouting, like when she named Natasha Morrison. Natasha Morrison passed and we are saying, Natasha! Natasha! We shout the woman name. I only God would have to come up with the cross and tell me that woman never hear we are shout her name. And for all we are shout Natasha, Natasha don't budge. Megan come out, Megan acknowledge it. Sherika Jackson never acknowledged it. She walked past it. And Megan, when Megan done running up, Megan came out of the athletes thing, go round at the stadium, come back round into the stands where we were sitting to come greet us and take pictures with us. And it was like at the height of COVID. And Megan Tapper came over in the stadium, in the stand where the Jamaicans were sitting, and she come and she took pictures and we talk and we talk and that's Megan. So I mean, you have to love Megan and people like Morrison. When we go around at the walk up, warm down track, and Johnny Russell came to talk to us, and Natasha did it on her phone. So I will call Natasha Morrison, and Natasha Morrison no move. She just dip on her phone. She give me one little wave like that, but you can see that she never walk. I don't know, maybe because she lost the race, I don't know. I'm just thinking that if you come all the way here in Paris and just Jamaicans are there with a big old green flag, when you have to be blind to can't see the flag, you can at least acknowledge them. This year, Shelly came and Shelly reasoned with me. And I said to Shelly, Shelly, go on your Instagram live, go on your live, and Shelly take out her phone and go live and start. You know, we were on her live, and uh, we appreciate that because we spend a lot of money, like to go watch a Diamond League. It costs how much it costs in a Jamaican dollar? Let me check it. Like 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is probably not a lot of money, but still a money. So you go there, and, you want to feel good, you shout, When this the man then what the thing water dog says here and saying we love you, Megan. Indeed, it's watered down, and I don't know. I don't know. Man, the MVP a train or MVP only trains women because it looks like whenever there's a woman who got MVP, they do very well. Like even Anthony Strong is trained at MVP and she had the well. But the man that from Asafa Powell, we don't know of no other MVP player, runner who, or maybe I don't know that they're MVP, I don't know. But race as an MVP, I don't know, there's a lot of competition now from other track clubs like Sprint Tech and Elite and stuff. But it is true that the men this year they have been a little below par, and that means that we are gonna kill them and call them names, but we have to, question why uh, the results are what they are. You know, I mean, traditionally and historically, we always can mine out a little bronze medal in the 4x1 or the 4x4, Jamaica after USA, more than likely would be getting the silver medal. But we can't really say that this time. I'm worried. Me nervous. Me nervous for that relay tonight because we can't believe that the whole championship might finish and the men not, score a little medal. So I mean, we were a bit unfortunate as well. We saw Ansel Parchment pulling up, not even facing the starters gun. We saw, well, Omar McLeod didn't make it. He was usually one of our sure medal hopefuls when in the Japan, Kin Pupalik, but he didn't make it this year. And that's something that I was a bit sad about it because I'm thinking that him looked mentally and psychologically gone. And I'm wondering if we support our athletes well enough. When we say support them, and Ian saying we can't underestimate the strength of a woman, indeed. When I say I don't know if we support our athletes enough, like when they're going through things, like I was reading in the Observer article maybe a year or 2 years ago, they were saying, oh, former Jamaican Olympian now selling newspaper or living in the streets or some stuff like that. And I'm thinking that we don't necessarily take care of our athletes. Like nobody never knows which part Merlin Otti is. Merlin Otti, who is the face and has been the face of historical Jamaican track and field. Nobody don't know what Otti did. Nobody don't know if she have an Instagram profile or a Facebook or how to contact her. I don't see her on no TV, doing no interviews. I don't see her at champs. I don't see her doing workshops in Jamaica. Where's Merlin Otti? We don't take care of our athletes, guys. Jamaica does not take care of our athletes. They run for us, they do well, and then they just disappear. You know, some like Usain Bolt will still have a buzz, and but like people like Ati, shouldn't Ati be at least close to the sprinting program because we know she was a coach. You know, and even if she's not a coach, she has experience. She can talk about her experiences to the young people. Then, you know, then she go around and talk to I don't know the youths in the schools and interview her during like Her national record win last year. Elaine Thompson broke Merlin Otis' record last year. Normally, if somebody broke your record, them sure can call up a Merlin Otis and say, "Oh, Merlin, oh, your record has been broken. How do you feel about that?" You know, nobody will know Merlin Otis because we just treat our athletes like dirt. We don't take care of them. Like, so I'm looking at Omar McLeod, and it's clear that he's going through psychological things. Even Ilian looked like a shell go through some stuff. Like, if you look at Ilian's face, I'm not no Obia man, nor no reader man. But I don't think you need to be an Obia man and reader man to look at Ilian's face and see that something mentally or psychologically is not lining up with the stars. Like she looks sad behind her smile. She just look a bit sad. The smile and look fake, they look plastic. She just look hurt. Even before the finals, even before we knew how she was going to perform, she just looked a bit off. And I'm thinking, are we supporting our athletes? Are we giving them the support that they should get? We found Asafa Powell. Maybe if one like a psychologist go talk to Asafa Powell and build up in mental strength, Asafa would have won some gold medal. Sports psychology, it exists. Bro, we need to, we tend to ignore that part of it, says Ian Plus. Yeah, some of the athletes are hurt because of the way they probably have injuries and ask the federation for some support and no support is coming. In Jamaica, we have the best athletes and we haven't marketed them. We don't market the athlete them. Shelley and Fraser Price should have done Good Morning America. She should have done Britain's whatever. All those programs will give you a buzz and a hype. Make them do them clothesline and make them do them fashion and so me I say look at little Shakari will come with a drug head. Little Shakari came the other day and in no time Nike signed up Shakari and I pushed Shakari as this new thing. With poor Ilian didn't probably never get a check on time from Nike. As little Shakari come, now it's Abby Steiner, the great Nike athlete, and Abby get on center stage from Nike. And where is our lobby? Like, who is lobbying for the athletes to make sure that they're getting their fair share of the pie? Who? Ian is saying, I cannot believe that a set of people who did so much more than our politicians are not getting the right support. And that may I tell you, Ian, and that may I assure you. You know, today everybody want to kill poor Kevin Nelson. If they put Kevin Nelson on a halfway tree now, they want to stretch out. Because they must say a fair fall we lose the relay and whatever. They're not thinking that maybe it's an administrative issue. Maybe the administration allow the coaches who's supposed to be there. Maybe you understand me? You understand? We tend to believe that though they're famous and have money, they're good. Exactly. It's like the whole case of who doctors the doctor. You know? When the doctor's sick, who am I to the doctor for the doctor? You're probably saying that, well, if it's a doctor, you should know what's wrong with him. You understand? Or who are going to cook for the chef? If you're a chef, you're supposed to have food. You're supposed to run out of food, right? So I think that's what we think, that sometimes because people are established, that they've got it all, whether it's money, whether it's family, whether it's whatever. But we need to help with athletes, man. We need to help with athletes. Look at that. Omar McLeod come last year, and everybody criticized him and cussed him and said, "Oh, J3A's could have come out and try defend the boy and say, well, Omar, it didn't work out, whatever." They don't support the boy, them just say, um, you come last and you don't get selected and we don't care what you want to say. And then kill the man. They kill the man mentally, psychologically. So 1 year later, he comes to the trial and he finishes last again, even though he's talented. So, these things are happening in the mind. The mind is a powerful thing. That's why Shannon Fraser Price is so good because her mentality is tough. She has a warrior-like mentality. So when she goes there, she puts in all her game face. When people say she's done or whatever, she's gonna come back with her mentality being so strong. $5 German man, welcome. $5 German saying the women's soccer team have to pay for their thing at the airport. It's a shame, yeah. It's a shame. Enough things are going on, when we need to keep talking about it, I'm gonna have to come at another time because we're talking sports. But even something like festival song, like we listen to the festival song this year, and I said, I wonder there, what are these? Where are they going? Who's handling this competition franchise? All them, what them are doing? What are their claim to fame? You understand? Just like the people who are select Jamaican team, like who selected that relay? Was it Stephen Francis? Who selected that relay lineup? Because that lineup to me never really made much sense. Kemba is not a starter. Shellyan is not a curve runner. Elaine is not supposed to be on the back stretch because Elaine is not fully healthy. So who is paid the millions? Somebody can't give it. I would make some good decisions with cheap, because half of the salary with the people I get. That's all. You don't have to pay me the full thing. Just give me half. Set out Barbarians there, says yeah. Yeah man, people are deadly. People deadly, like they will kill you and blame you. The women's soccer team, I remember they came to France and me had to sell t-shirts for them to help them. I would cheer. 2019, yeah, it might have been 2019. We had the women's World Cup of soccer in France, and they would bring T-shirts and stuff to try to raise money for the girls, the reggae girls. I mean, did I sell T-shirts? I mean, they turned Igla for the reggae girls, send a T-shirt, just trying to raise a little money so they can do it. That's embarrassing. Not the right. They should have all that they want, all that they have asked for. They should have, we need to find some of the some of the old those athletes who used to win up champs and then we just not hear nothing more about them and stuff. Like there's no guidance along the line, no help along the line to help these athletes, you know. So I think the J3As need to do better, right? They need to improve, they need to help, they need to support, they need to assist the athletes better, right? They need to make better decisions and not just think about the sponsorship deals and stuff, you know. And they need to get look at even what happened with Elaine. Elaine was without a sponsor for since last year Olympics, but she decided she gonna leave Nike. She was without a sponsor. Did the government step in and say, Elaine, how is your program going? Did Babs Grange know say Elaine not no sponsor? Them little things, do you understand? And Ian has the final word. He's saying, you know how much big country want to be us because of our athletes. The house want clean, bro, and get rid of all of them. Exactly. I want to be a part of the J3s. How do I get elected on the board? Because me think them might do some serious things where me not agree with. So if anybody finds out how to be a member of the J3A, or if it's an exclusive club of just uptown people, I don't know. You know. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in to our Sunday Live. We'll probably do a live tomorrow to recap the highs and the lows of the championship and see who was hot and who was not. But in the meantime, remember, hit the thumbs up button if it's your first time. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. This was Champion Live.